uh, fruity drinks too. So it's great. I what's it called?
This is the Insurance Technology Podcast, where we bring interesting people from across the insurance ecosystem to discuss and debate technology's impact on the industry. Join us each episode for insights and best practices from industry stewards and tomorrow's innovators. Now, here's your host, Reid Holsworth.
So I wanted to invite Kabir onto the podcast because he's just a really interesting guy. Now, not everybody in the industry really knows Kabir, really knows him. But it's funny, the people that do, when his name is mentioned, you'll see people kind of smirk, smile, and laugh because he's a really interesting guy. And you got to get to know him to understand what I'm saying. Now, not only that, but Kabir has a lot of depth and spent a lot of time in this industry. From his time at Marsh to founding RiskMatch, which then he sold to Vertafore. And now he's got this top secret company that they're building. Nobody knows what they're doing. He talks about that a little bit in the third episode. So stay tuned for that. But really good stuff. Now, in this first episode, we learn how Kabir got into the industry. And really he gets into his thoughts around how brokers and carriers are leveraging data or frankly, how they're not for their success. It's a really interesting set of episodes, so stay tuned. You're really going to enjoy it.
Today, I have a very amazing guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Kabir Syed. Welcome. Very, very excited to have you on the show today. We're going to get into some really good stuff. So for the audience, please give a little introduction about yourself. And then if you could, please let us know how you got into insurance technology. Kind of give us a little background on how you got into InsurTech, if you don't mind, Kabir. No.
Yeah. Two parts to it, right? One, if you think about it, is pretty much only two. It's a duopoly for and applied. But part of the thing is culture problem, a behavioral access problem. Is the system can be for the old, which are like, I need you. So that's one part. Yeah, and then think of Salesforce. Salesforce, from my point, is like 20 years back. All the other platforms much better. However, they become a platform. As a platform, when I say other people to plug in and do, they have not a seamless experience. Now, very different. And this is where we should be embedded to be used.
Same.
Not very difficult to do. Whatever philosophy as a group of people slated, if you say it has, or we care about to say, here's why, not just by saying, oh my God, I get it. It's three parts, right? One, there are front end that can make it and you can buy that because you're going to, LinkedIn, I will go and buy from this. So I'm like, maybe you can't change the old interface, but can you put a new interface? So things that use as one. Systems have what it takes to embed it so you can't get to it. So that I have seen is do their work. Is saying it's like a really nice bottle of wine, but if you eat your food, it's like this really good piece of cake, veggies, and then you'll get the cake. Time for that. I just want to do because I don't have all of these things. The roster of man do is agree time to go and explore. So my point is take away those parts to work or the parts work. Like place. This was a great example when RiskMatch was, hey, carriers who use your system, MGAs and know their system.
That's awesome. So talk about that. So what did you do after that? What happened after you're doing the Marsh projects and whatnot? So then what'd you get into? Wow. By the way, I just want to say, what a great place to start your career at that level. Like, that's awesome, man. That's really awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
So as a in did everything, they're like, I can only create so many medium that other people put of it. So my two companies think of it as connecting. Hey, you guys can come in and it's one part. The second, well, since you can't change it, remember I said time to respond, which means give it a area so that you get a response. It might seem instantaneous, 30 days to actually do it. Speed, but started early to go there, wincing, because you can't do everything as any. So other people play on it because they're only going to contribute. You're right, absolutely. You know what brokers look technology. I'm marginal, not good on the amount of money I have now is, of course, or with the CI. It's not like they're bad. My data is at AMS. It's with 18 other companies. I don't have it. Why can't the data, the person who's generating it, saying I need to? Because if
Come
I
on,
have,
get rid. That's awesome, man. I didn't know this. Huh?
you would think the insured for the insured thought insurance is
Right,
you look
totally.
at your credit card thing.
Yeah.
Part of it is cultural. If you look at all the jobs in the number 1 to number 50, so I'm like, well, I'm going to keep mine. So very simple. It's saying, okay, so if we have to do that, right? Yes, it is
No
something
kidding,
that.
yeah.
Where else do you find?
Marsh has
Nowhere
been
else.
known
After
for their
every year,
benchmarking.
but I have to buy. I'm like,
still
this is the
today,
captive and
like
clients who are
today,
ready to buy.
still, yeah.
That's all it is.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know this. Huh? That's awesome.
Be optimistic. People will say no. There is no such. Absolutely not. You have enough money. Niche problem. Look at the complete process of where the achieve. Otherwise, any piece of it, and do things where not. I'm so my personal niche things. They just create more problem. Like, oh, you have to just focus on this small. There's a whole thing. Yes, it's humongous. Yes, you've got to put your heart into it. Don't ask a client what they say, what is the problem, somebody what they want. If I that there's something else or have blinkers in, like for example, in 2005, now you have it. So I can't say to say, what do I need? So it's easier. Models don't follow where you are of this, and those are all very exercises. You're an user. Honor your word. Yeah. You're right. You know what has happened? The focus is on or the most named visa. I'll get the most number of clients. I mean, maybe people do it, but not going to be a successful venture. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. And it's, I always say is, take somebody else's money, you'll spend it differently. And the second part, you're going to be very creative when you have less. And I hope I'm talking, it's like, why does the Niger, somebody else who is the best Niger? It's different, right? Different way, in a different environment, luxury of a lot of things people in other countries do. Anyway, you will not have unlimited funds. The focus is the biggest checks, solving the biggest problem. You get your client, and that's how they. Right.
Mm.
Yeah, so broadly, right, is we are trying to say there's a lot of technology, but it's very fragmented. Problems that we had before. CRM, and I give, then here's my whatever, Indio, and on. An insurance stack like
That's
that,
interesting.
absolutely not.
You know what's interesting?
The insurance stack
is that a lot of things of what you said
look at
thus far is
they were not itself because
you just
they were
ask
tech
why.
savvy.
Like,
and
wait, I think we can do that.
we
Like,
as
why
insurers,
not? Why
is
can't
it
we?
that side
You know what's so
always
funny
breaks
about
into
that?
some-
I
why
talk to
can't
people
we?
all the time, and like
The second
people just don't
philosophy,
ask,
we think
and
brokers
they
are
just like, well, I don't
be
know. Like, no, I don't think we can do that.
savvy.
Why not?
Do what's good,
Right?
what you're good at.
And it's like
And
these
I'm
are
not saying
simple
take
things.
We now have
Technically, it's
systems
not
all the
rocket
time.
science,
I don't
but
know.
it's just
now the
somebody
job keeping the data updated.
I don't know,
being
for
with
lack
the
of a better
client,
term,
or being
having
with-
the
then you're not
balls to
solving
just go out and
problems.
do it, right?
So thing,
and
or
then
can
somebody
we create
enabling
something
it too. Like in your case, they're
if
like,
production is one,
really? You
two
think you can do
target,
it?
If players,
Yeah. Okay.
and we don't have to
Do
put
it.
on
You know
other
this
people.
guy. Right?
There's new ways to communicate.
Right.
Can we? If I'm a sales, I'm good at talking. People's not good at research. Research for me because I have to first use the 7-8 systems. Who has the time to go to 7? Pick here, email. Well, maybe my packaging skills are not good. So it's an open platform. It's distribution. Industry only for the distribution. And that's one part. We've got to accelerate the hands of people, brokerage and brokers. I can 50 CIOs, insurance brokers.
Right.
We don't have that. So we're saying, well, technology at people when they can't manage it. Manage it for them, right? So hey, I have a 3-car garage. Which car? I don't know which car. I don't know how to. Saying we can't throw things at people. Solve the problem. Solve a technology.
Absolutely.
That's what we want to create.
Yeah, you know,
somebody who's
it's kind of funny
they're
too.
great AMS.
I was on speaking at some event the other day, and I kind of said this. I mean, do you think that the industry in general seems to go after shiny objects and just like, let's go after the shiny objects. Let's talk about AI and this kind of stuff, right? When we're still communicating via, standard static forms and email, and there's no automation, no connectivity, these kinds of things, like, should we be talking about those shiny objects? I don't know. I mean, I think they're cool. It's good water cooler conversation. But I feel that there's some core big things within the industry that could be solved, and it's guys like you. They're just like, why don't we fix that? Like, what do you need?
Doing the very simple
so
rebel operators.
Interesting. On my last podcast, I was interviewing Dennis Chikazian, which I'm sure you know Dennis.
Almost a carrier.
And Dennis was talking about the 80s, man, like the 80s and the 90s, and it's so crazy. He's talking about like SEMC, not the company, but and by the way, I love
then there's a very interesting data underwriting. And outspoken, this
he was
guy
just talking about like these are problems back in the 80s and 90s that are still exist today. And when you think about, like, you brought up the marketplace. Well, there's like a cuss word in our industry called the exchange, right? Why? Because the exchange has failed so many times.
So I think that
and so
they help. So these are the different
why, man? Like,
I don't pay influencers at all. It's easy to talk, but can you? You've done a company, building a culture, changing and saying it takes a long effort. It's easy to say, well, this is my picture, and it doesn't work that way. So our rebels in each of those say, how are you different? What are you achieving?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm trying to.
Right.
I love to travel, so of the last, but goals. So first, what did the CDC say? Hey, go and come back within 24. So I'm back in 24. I'm dumb because you can catch it in far. I've not got it so far. So I travel a lot to clients or just someplace where I can, the picture that I'd sent you. Second thing is into drinking wine. Well, I thought, obviously, like me, I don't collect. So I'm drinking some wines. That's when I love cars. I love cars. I don't have an extra, but I do constantly. And my wife said, "Are you going with the mids like to change cars?" That's all it is. So I drive cars. It's been fantastic the last year. On the road now, so through and then our system. Rather than that, go and do that. Situation. So my favorite in the ocean. Would be absolutely a cold beer. And if I'm in the north, I love a cabin, one of those heavy. Don't love wines. But on the beach, I don't want wine. I am wired that way. No, fruity drinks too. So it's great. I what's it called? The James
Yeah.
Bond martini. I can only drink 2 or 3, and so I stopped drinking. I used to go to times a year. I loved. I would. I was in San
Yeah.
Francisco, and I had to come back on. Hey, Marsh, can you just pay for back so I don't have to pay for the whole trip? So I wasn't big. I loved it. So I 4 or 5 years now.
Hmm.
So, so that's great, man. It's fun talking to you. Done such great things, and we are very similar in. So.
We need to get a deal. I still hung out, dude. What the hell?
Mm. Right.
But the reason I was vague, I'm one of those people. I don't
Yeah.
like to show and then say, "Now you tell us." I'm waiting to do. People, how much before they have a product on this and that, and I'm like, I'm saying, "Here's what we do." You're crazy. I'm like, I know, I agree with you, but I do not want to.
Hmm.
Right. Okay. What are the cars?
That's right. So dig into that a little bit. What do you think about, I mean, data in this industry, people are scared of it. They don't like it. I talk to carriers and they're like, oh, whoa, hold on. Like that word comes up and people like get up out of their seat. Right. I mean, there's that and, connectivity too. And really even, and all of that said, standardization across all of it. I mean, there's a lot there, but just a couple thoughts on any of that. It would be awesome for the audience. You know. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. It's like the robots taking away the jobs of manufacturing. Yep. Yep. Hmm. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. Well, they're scared of it. I mean, to your point, like it's like we can't, we don't want to give that to them. We don't want to send it. It's like, let's hold it. But all we're doing is holding each other back, in my opinion, you know? Hmm. And they are 100% in every way. Yeah. Yep. Mm. Right. Right. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Right. Totally. You've just locked the client. Yeah. It's a good point. Right. Yeah. Right.
Well, that was awesome. It was great to get his perspective on how carriers and brokers should embrace technology. I still can't believe that he was the one that started benchmarks at Marsh. That's a really big thing. Marsh is known for that. So, in the next episode, you'll hear how Kabir eventually got bored with benchmarking and decided to quit and go off and start a data company, which became RiskMatch, which he then sold to Vertifor. So please tune into the next one.